Hello, dear followers of the ArtaCast. We are back with the eighth episode. Wow, it's 8 episodes. It seems like we started yesterday. Um, we have some things to talk about. We all came down from the exciting European Championships weekend. There's one big tournament we want to talk about today. There are some meta shifts happened. There's also some other things like the LCCC we want to talk about, and we got another DLC announced. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the week before Christmas. So yeah, first of all, I want to announce something just shortly for you to know. I'm now on Metafy. If you are familiar with that, that's a really good platform for offering coaching. It's not only that. I set it up now. It's all in the work. It's not all finished, but you can have their different tiers in supporting me if you want to, and you can get their coaching. You could get my new guide that I will release it before Christmas, so maybe a good Christmas gift. Also some other stuff. I will regularly upload videos there for new insights or something. For example, I comment my matches where I played in the LCCC. Could be kind of interesting. Just wanted to shortly announce that. If you're interested, you can just look at it. Yes, that's for me. Eddie, how was your week? What's going on? Is there something? What's going on?
Yeah, my week's been good. It's been, like you say, a big come down from
Mm-hmm.
the Continentals, which was obviously incredible experience as we went over last week. But I've kind of come off that with a high level of excitement for the game and the format, um, and needed somewhere to direct that, but there hasn't been anything because I'm not playing in any tournaments until set championships now.
Yeah, that's sad.
And
Yeah.
and so I've kind of just got a lot of ideas in my head. I'm tinkering with some different decks and trying things out, but yeah, it feels odd after all that build up and
Mm-hmm.
working towards that. We're now sort of thinking, at least in Europe, our season is kind of over now. The competitive season has come to an end. We don't know when the next European DLC will be. We will just be looking forward to independent tournaments in the meantime and set championships. So yeah, that's the kind of theme for me, is really excited about the game and not really anywhere to channel that excitement. So I'll just have to do it here.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
talk.
That's sad. I have also very much many thoughts. I think what's interesting for me, and I didn't expect that, is the DLC announced for Melbourne.
Mm,
It was crazy for me, and the top two players of that, because they don't have continentals, obviously, will compete in the World Championship. That's crazy for
yep.
me. Because that's some really good opportunity to get there. Um, I ask you right now, did you get tickets? No, you didn't, right?
I didn't. No, I
No,
didn't even try to get tickets to the
no, me
Melbourne
not, me neither.
DLC.
Yeah.
Um, it's tempting, but it's a very high travel cost, and I have
Mm-hmm.
like a very maybe I should think more highly of myself, but it's like when the cost is that high, you have to finish extremely highly for it to be a positive return of value, right? So I think traveling from the UK and Europe, you're probably looking at least a top 32 finish to see any sort of return close to what you've invested just to get there. Um, I think I can top 32 a DLC. If I top 16 Continentals, I think I can top 32 a DLC. But if I think about it sort of kind of pragmatically, could I do it after close to a 24-hour flight? Mm, it's a tricky proposition. It's a lot of travel and a lot of cost for me. So while it's tempting, I chose not to go. But I think it's super exciting that there's Worlds tickets on
Yeah.
offer. Um, And yeah, I guess was it the same for you? What was your thought?
Yeah, I thought it a bit, but then it's 22 hours flight, and
Mm,
it's just for this. No matter how good you are, really, really small chance to make it.
yep.
Oof, and I'm not that confident. And I think that I run over the DLC. I could
Yeah.
imagine the field is maybe a bit less competitive than in Europe on NA. Hard to
Yeah,
say,
I would
but
guess so.
I saw some people I know flying there. So Norm Nord, for example, or DKP, they will go there.
Yeah.
So
Lots
exciting.
of people are going that are very, very good at the game. So
Yeah,
even if like locally the players didn't have quite as much experience, there are people going that want those worlds tickets big time. So yeah, you'd have tough competition, however it lined up.
yeah.
I
So
think
let's see what happens there. Yeah, is it at
yeah.
6? I think it's at 6, right? Or
Yeah,
when is
so
it? Yeah,
I didn't see the format confirmed
yeah.
anywhere, but I assume it's set 6. I don't know what distribution is like in Australia and New Zealand, but on the topic of distribution, what's most exciting to me about this extra DLC is that with it qualifying for Worlds, I think it takes the number of players in Worlds up to a strange number where I think it's 28 now. If
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm wrong. I would guess 28 is where I think we're at, which is a weird number for a tournament, but a number that does make a lot of sense is 32. So if there were 4 more slots up for grabs somewhere, it would make more sense that they are also going to have some extra events before Worlds in other regions that have been underserved. Most notably, China and Japan have just recently started to get product in the last few months. And if they get challenges that feed
Mm-hmm.
in the same way as this, those would not be set 6. Those would be like set 3 or something,
Mm-hmm.
whatever's distributed at the time in
Oh,
their
I want to
local
go back to
language.
set 3.
So yeah, that is like maybe that's wishful thinking, but my question to you is would you go to Japan for a
um,
set 3 DLC? I think I would.
I would too. Japan is
Yeah.
also good for me because my wife and me, we want to go to Japan for our, how is it called, the wedding travel, the after the wedding
Honeymoon.
honeymoon, yeah. And because she's studying Japanese,
Hmm.
and it's kind of a second home, you could say, and she wants to go with me there. So it would be in multiple ways, would be cool. And set 3 I would like. Oh my gosh, set 3.
Yeah.
Green Purple was so busted in set 3. It's crazy
Yep.
good. And
Yes. So that's kind of wishful thinking, but that's where my mind has gone is okay, if there's some invites here, how do we get it up to a round number that makes more sense? And certainly 32 as a tournament number makes more sense than 28, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a question of where those slots come from.
Yeah, maybe from the LCCC.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it, if the winner got an invite to Worlds?
Yeah, it's not done yet. Um, yeah, but I'm very excited that the game seems to get even more popular from day to day. It's crazy the journey we went through.
Yeah,
If you just see one year ago, it's crazy. We
yeah, it's
didn't
been an
even have.
amazing year.
I was in the podcast from the Illumiteers. What's always
Hmm.
really cool, and they see the DLCs were announced on March this year. So it's
Yeah,
crazy that it's not even a year before that all happened. What happened this year? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, and now we have a
yeah,
European Championship behind us, and yeah,
yeah,
crazy. I still think maybe to come back to the game a bit. The meta is still. We have a good set. Probably we have still a good meta. I think. There's not many decks that feel unfair or unbeatable or some things.
mm,
I feel quite good. And we had the big LCCC, the big CCS tournament on the weekend,
Yep.
where shout out De Candio won again. He showed that he is just a goat of this game.
Yep.
Crazy how consistently good he is.
Phenomenal player. Yep.
With some spice, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
It's steel. Yeah, you cannot say steel song. I would say it's an Ember Steel Acro deck
Mm-hmm.
with dogs, and
Yep.
yeah, that's it. What do you think about the deck? What's your thoughts when you see the list?
It's really, really interesting, and I think in a moment we're going to need to have a look at the sort of deck distribution and breakdown of what people actually played at the tournament across the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because,
maybe should we talk about that first? Yeah,
well,
maybe.
I think
Yeah.
looking at this deck raises the most interesting questions about the whole tournament, the tournament as a whole, right? Which is that if something like this can thrive, and let's just try to remove for a second the fact that it was won by DeCandio, who I believe could win with almost any version of Amber Steel, and plays the deck phenomenally well. My first thought when I see something like this is like, my questions are, well, how does this not get run over by blue red? This looks like we're used to blue red having a good matchup into Steel Song, and this looks like it has even fewer tools. I mean, it goes faster than traditional Steel Song, but I don't know. Am I wrong to say that? I would assume this has a problem with blue red, especially those versions that we saw coming out of the Continentals in Europe, where they're back to playing small Sisus, they're playing a ton of big Sisus, they're playing Pirate's Life and Maui Shark. Does this just straight up go under it and it's just way too fast?
I would say it's way better than traditional Steel Song against them.
Okay.
Because you don't want to wheel red blue. And
Sure.
you don't have to wheel in this deck. So Dock is a way better draw engine than wheel into red blue, I
Yep.
think. I think if you ask the Candio, it's probably still a bad matchup. But I can imagine you are very consistently too fast on the play, probably. Not very consistently, but yeah, kind of too fast for them often. It's really for us. This deck is for green purple. This is 4 Kaloons and
Yep.
feels not that good.
It's got a lot of problem cards for a lot of different decks, right? Which is that the deck as a whole might not look. I don't really look at this and think like, oh, this must crush X, Y, or Z, but it has specific cards that would be a real issue for most major decks. Which, like, if you've learned those matchups well, then yeah, and mulligan for the right things in each matchup, you're probably just flying with this.
And I saw some games, not everything, but I saw some games, and Lilo against Red Blue, Lilo puts in so much work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think Lilo is a good addition for this matchup. A bit what they needed.
Yeah, it gives them that longevity, which is that if they're going to be getting their board swept all the time, at least they're bringing stuff back late. And
yeah, and then if they even if they have a Sisu, then they can't quest with the Sisu because they always have to trade, and they can't raise themselves very good. So
no,
it allows you to overextend the Lilos. Yeah, and you have still Peats and such cards. I mean, the deck it is probably kind of linear, but yeah, doesn't take away the effectiveness.
No, I was just thinking about Daisy specifically, looking at the list. Like, I bet Daisy into some of these decks, like red blue, is actually like some of these builds have gone way up on actions and things like that to start playing Maui Shark. I don't really know how much the red blue players in North America had kind of, if they're going down the same road or whatever, but the more popular European lists at the moment, much higher on actions, ton of items like usual. I bet Daisy just hits a load of stuff and just quite often you get like 2 or 3 quests in with Daisy where they drew like nothing extra in some of these matchups. It's just a nightmare for them.
Yeah, of course. And he played this deck nearly the same in the LCCC. She only added now four Kidas and put out for that 1 Happy, 1 Pictet, and 2 Plutos.
Seems
I
fine.
wonder. Yeah, it's just a good closer, probably. I think, yeah. I guess
think
that's just
from the games I saw, it looked like Kida was getting inked quite a lot. It's one of those cards that's like just
Probably.
there if you need it, right? And it's probably a pretty high choice for inking in a ton of matchups.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I played a few games against this week, and you know the really interesting point where the pressure was most applied for green purple was obviously like Calhoun is a problem card for us a little bit. Like it can freeze the board and changes your quest decisions early, and yeah, bit of an issue. But outside of that, the biggest problem I had was that you can play around Rapunzel quite easily, right? Like when a deck's draw engine is just Doc and Rapunzel, well, we can't do much about Doc, but you can try and make good decisions to not give up profitable Rapunzel trades, that sort of thing, where opponent draws 3. But the Dwarf Mine, the mine creates these situations where you're put under a massive amount of pressure. You can't just sit and stare at that mine. If they have that, you then have to take some sort of trade with your things that usually have 3 strength, like your snakes, crabs, or even a fox or whatever. And then they just like slam their Pluto into it and draw 3 or something. That was like the main stress point for me, was that my hand was forced to take situations that did set up good Rapunzels. I've not really seen too many decks like this before that have high pressure, high value, cheap locations. I guess like in the past, maybe Pride Lands sort of fulfilled that role in some of these decks, like a few sets ago.
But Pride Lands was way
when
worse.
You're under pressure to clear it, you don't have a choice. Like
No.
you are picking which way you lose at that point, and that was really really stressful for the deck. I didn't hate the matchup into it at all because we've got lots of good kit targets, that sort of thing. We can outrace, we can certainly like draw more cards to them in the late game, that sort of thing, and just end up outvaluing them. But
yeah,
early on, there's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, and everything of them quest nearly for 2, and then sometimes it doesn't matter much if we have card advantage.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, a good contender for the meta game probably, and not the best news for green purple enjoyers.
No.
I think the matchup is quite unfavored. I would feel worse into this than into traditional Steel Song, I think.
Hard to
say.
Yep.
But I didn't play test against this very much, a bit, but not that much. To say it very, very, but it's just Ursula does not get that much value because they only play 8 songs, and
No, I consistently found this harder to beat than traditional Steel Song green purple. Yeah, for sure.
And I think evasives are a good way to get a bit against the stack, to fight the stack better, because they can just quest and don't give them good trades or Rapunzel trades or something. And let's see how it evolves.
Yeah, but it
feels like that this deck can be easily targeted by hate, but maybe it's just too fast or too tricky to come around. That this is just a very good contender for the meta game. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's really tough because the thing I find most scary about it is that if we do now take a look at the sort of breakdown of decks represented at this tournament, there were plenty of things there that you would think have a decent matchup into this, right? And it still won. I mean, anything on its day win, but it's
when we look at it, the conversion rate for this deck was crazy good. Or for this color combination, we have to say.
Yeah.
There was one Steel Faser in the top 4, I think. and probably some traditional steel songs. I didn't look at all lists. So, but the color combination had a very good conversion rate in comparison to green purple. Green purple got punished this weekend. I don't know.
Yeah.
Friends, what are you doing with our deck? No. Probably some kind of this deck hurted us a bit, and we had only one green purple in the top tables in the last round, and he lost, I think, and then no green purple was tops, although it was the third most played deck. Yeah, sad, and
Yep.
needs to be discovered why it is like that. What
Yeah.
was it?
No, I was just going to say on the performance of green purple, it's well, the first thing you could make an assumption about is if this deck has performed especially well and other amber steel variants have also performed well, then certainly people in general are finding them to be bad matchups for green purple if it turned out to be a hostile field as it sort of got towards the top tables. Which leads me to think, I know that the actual traditional steel song matchup kind of divides opinion because lots of people still seem to feel that's bad.
No, it's
I
fine.
don't mind it at all. I
Mm-mm.
find it you just play some Ursulas and bounce them and prioritize crabs and foxes and then take your trades, and I don't know. It's I guess there are some decision points that are tough there, but like the matchup's fine. Yeah, if there was a lot of this, then it's not looking great for green purple. But we've got this lingering issue that I've never really understood, which is that pretty much all of green purple's notable results come from Europe, and it just doesn't put up results in North America. It just tracks way lower on that continent than here, and I wish I understood why, because I find it fascinating that there should be like a notable difference.
Yeah, the problem is probably that the meta is different, and
mm,
America was traditionally very high on green steel
yep.
because they have no dignity, and and amber steel too. I think I'm not completely sure, but I think steel in general is probably more popular there.
Seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it hurts probably just the matchup spread for us a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to say. Hard to say what's coming up now. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a bit happy that I don't have to prepare for NA Continentals, because that would be a weird situation now.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's really hard to say. Now this deck comes up from the Candeo, and then many could jump on that train. What I've really found curious, like you say, with the tournaments, like you see the matchups that were there, red purple or red blue. This deck seems to be very highly tagged into aggro with this Calhoun's and
Yep.
the Cindy. Yeah, Cindy is always good, but really good against aggro, I think. And then yeah, and he didn't face many aggros, so still a good matchup, probably into most control decks, just too fast. So it should be a really good matchup spread overall, probably. Although it seems one dimensional, this deck, and it maybe is, but it's just effective,
Yeah.
and doesn't mean that it has less decisions, like always in playing, but yeah.
It's sort of a very good example of what we talked about for the past couple of weeks. We've kind of touched on that regardless of what you're playing, you need to be playing a deck that is able to capitalize on these games on the play with incredibly
Yeah,
strong
yeah,
linear openings of some sort.
yeah.
So yeah, whether that is Porpsicle Tipo Hiram or whether that is running out a bunch of Merfolk, whatever it is, something that leverages that advantage and pushes it in a nice, like, not prone to bricking. This deck certainly looks way less prone to bricking out than like traditional Steel Song would be. So just has a more consistent draw. You just hit your 1, 2, 3, and then from there you're so far ahead of whatever your opponents could do in response that the game just starts to open up for you. Yeah, just a kind of linear curve out style deck. Even if this is as straightforward as it looks, which I suspect is probably quite complex to play, it just speaks to that kind of that's what you should be doing. Every deck needs some sort of linear plan, even if it's a reactive deck like red purple. You want to be, if you miss any part of one drop Flynn Sisu, it's an issue, right? Like you do need these very clear super linear runouts in every single deck.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Yeah, so maybe we see some new shifts. I guess red blue won't go anywhere too, because still seems to be kind of a reasonable good matchup against this deck.
Yep.
So red purple won't go anywhere. I mean, red purple should really struggle into this. I think. Wow, that's not a deck I want to face with red purple. And I think he won against Normnot in the semifinals. I think, if I remember it correctly. So kind of shows that the matchup is probably good. Yeah.
If you're looking for a meaningful data point on something's red purple matchup, it's like, did this beat? No, I'm not in a best of 3. Yes, okay, it's probably got a pretty good red purple matchup.
That's true. That's true. Was there any other surprises or some decks you think will come up now, or could be underestimated or overestimated or something? Some meta things.
It's a really good question, and I'm sort of at a complete loss. So I've settled into that stage of the metagame cycle every set where it's like, okay, there is a bunch of stuff that's playable. I think most of it has been explored. I'm now going to go back to playing whatever I think the best version of my comfort pick is, which is green purple, and I'm stuck to that. I always, first few weeks, there's like a little flirtation with, oh, maybe I'll play something else, and then it never happens. But it's sort of like there's always a threat of it happening. I don't know how the metagame adjusts to this really, because it looks like, we did that tier list a few weeks ago, and we sort of put it at like a 6 deck metagame, and that still looks pretty true. This is a different take on Amber Steel, but kind of falls into that camp still. This maybe gets more play than traditional Steel Song, and then I don't know, like, what matchups is this worse against?
Probably
I can't.
some. I could imagine a purple steel, for example. Could struggle a bit.
Yeah,
I think it
and
has
again, that's a deck that's a deck that's also popular in North America as well. So you should sort of like, the people playing the LCQ and Continentals should kind of expect a little more of that. I don't know. Is it just going to be steel battles, and then red blue sweeps into steal games from them?
Yeah,
or,
I mean,
don't know.
I mean, if it's fast enough, it has a I mean, it's kind of green purple for me. It has no real auto win matchups.
No.
So it's just a fair deck, or fair, you could say, a fair matchup spread. And pretty efficient, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know how the metagame adjusts, other than there are at least 6 playable decks that I think, if you get into trying to find something that just solves the meta and has a great matchup spread into all of them, I'm not sure that exists. But there probably are some edges to be gained from finding the right steel deck into into whatever the field looks like of mostly other steel decks, because it's North America. I'm not sure. Really, really tough to say.
Yeah,
But I'm certainly afraid of this deck. And like you said before, I'm really glad this tournament happened this weekend and not the weekend before European Continentals, because I would have much preferred. I was much happier not thinking about this, right?
Yeah.
I had the incredible luxury of going into that tournament barely thinking about the card Calhoun.
Yeah.
It's just like, it almost didn't exist. And
it's a bit
somehow got away with that.
And it's a bit of surprising when we speak about it. We can go to it. Like the LCCC, if Dicandio, I think he lost the first round very close to Frank. I don't remember. I think to Frank Carsten.
Yep.
And if he was 3-0 or something after the first 3 rounds, this deck would have probably more seen before.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of weird. Speaking of the LCCC, yeah, I'm very happy because I was first after the Swiss rounds. I can't believe it against this field that I'm first after the Swiss round. I won all my 4 games and all on the draw, which is unbelievable for me. Still lucky, I think, in many cases, or in some cases. I think my deck was well positioned in the meta game that was there, and I think Green Steel was worse positioned than we expected it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So we would the Swiss ones are now finished. So we have a top 4, top 2 players of every continent will play now the final 2 rounds. So the semi-final and the final. So it could be that we have a complete EU final or a complete NA final, depending on who wins. So I'm now against San, and DKP is against Zach. Yeah. The funny thing is, or not the funny, the crazy thing is, we were allowed to play new decks, and I'm not completely sure if we can talk about every deck, but we can talk about my deck. That's no problem. So I sent you the list, and I will try to let's talk a bit about the list. I can tell you my considerations. The funny thing is, Pavel told us, it was very clever from him. Pavel told us he won't, because we all didn't know what the format will be, and how we will play the top 4, and he said he will not tell us because we should not know against whom we play now.
Yep, that's smart.
Yeah, so I had the decision. I had DKP, San, and Zach, and that's for me it was red blue, green steel, amber steel. So that's a very diverse meta game, you could say.
Yeah.
I thought Big Ursula is still good against green steel and against amber steel. That's why I chose to add 2 of them in, and she won't hurt my red blue matchup too much. I really wanted to play 4 white rose. I really love this card. Against red blue and against steel decks, it's a solid body. So I chose to play 2 white roses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I continue to test the Mother Knows Best because I'm really high on your opinion, and it didn't work out for me. Maybe I'm too low on this card. Maybe I should see the non-bricking situations more than I see the bricking situations. But I think you made a very fair and good point to have some answers against Shark. And I think I want to add an inkable option that's capable of do that. And so I added 2 Mother Gothels that won't probably hurt too much. She's also a really solid option, solid answer against the Beast. And even some if Zach plays Big Cindy or something, then that's also good. So has always some options, I think, in racing situations or something.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I just play
her. I think,
yeah,
and I think it's better than it may appear for that specific job of getting rid of Shark as well, which is that once you've hit that turn where the Shark is in play, you're kind of challenged to get rid of it so you can continue questing, but you're already at a turn where they're threatening to sweep the board next turn, which is that you've approached the be prepared / Sisu turn. That's probably happened. Something along those lines is happening. So you often underspend your ink on that turn because you're trying to not overextend, or you're just bouncing a bunch of your own stuff to try and get some extra stuff out of it before the sweeper comes. So even paying the full 5 for a 1/3 that bounces something, it feels like a reasonably steep cost. But you're actually totally happy to do it on that turn a lot of the time. So I really like it as an inkable answer that against the other matchups you can just chuck away if you're not concerned about it, and you're not as priced into it getting bricky like Mother Knows Best. So I think it's a really good choice. It makes a lot of sense to me, at least.
Oh, that's good to hear. I mean, I could imagine I ink it very often, but yeah, I think that's that's fair, I think. Yeah, so I had some tough decisions. I decided to run no bells right now because the matchups I expect are not the bell matchups. Yeah, so I'm kind of happy with the list. I also decided, like you, to go to 4 rabbits again because I cut the Clarable package because also does not that much. I mean, against Red Blue it's kind of decent, but yeah, the other two won't do much probably.
Yeah.
And I love Peter Pan against either Green Steel and Ember Steel. I think if Sen will always play something aggressive or likes to play something aggressive.
Sure. It probably has Diablo in it, right? Like
Zach plays.
Oh, Zach. Okay.
Zach plays his Ember Steel list most of the time, also very aggressive.
Yes. Yeah.
And Peter Pan is very good to take out Cindy or Piglet, or even sometimes trading a Smee or something is reasonable. And yeah, I really like him in both matchups. Against Red Blue, I don't keep it, and So let's see how it works out. I'm not too high pressured because I saw I cannot speak about it, friends. Sorry, but I saw the list of the two other of Second San, and it's gonna be hard. They played a really good. They attacked really good against me.
Yeah.
But let's see. Because I'm now. I didn't say it. I'm now like it's kind of supposed to happen. Against San, because I'm the first of the European and he's second of the NA team, and so I play against him. And I will be on the play, so I think I have still a decent chance to win.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, I saw his list. You can be excited. What he brings. There's a lot of spice in there. Yeah, you will see it on Thursday, 10 p.m. European time.
Nice.
We will play. Yeah, and then let's see what happens there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those games. But this is such an interesting format, isn't it, with the deck change now? Which is that if I'm sorry to say this, I do have full belief that you can win this tournament. But in the dark, I would say now my favoured player would be Zach, because he's of the 4 of you, he has the least sort of clear. He's played tons of Amber Steel really well, but he's also played a bunch of other decks. He's the hardest to predict.
Yeah.
For the rest of the 3 of you, the metagaming internally, even though it's in the dark, you don't know what each other will play. You can have some pretty good guesses. Like, people know what you're going to play. People know what DKP is going to play, which puts the NA team at a pretty high advantage. And the one best position to take advantage of that is Zach. So I'm really excited to see these games, but.
The problem is, it was a weird deck building. I never experienced such a deck building experience. Because I know it's only 3 players, and it's kind of this poker situation. Do I think Zach sticks now with Ember Steel, and do I take again, or is he a step ahead and thinks, okay, I don't play Ember Steel because everyone will play against Ember Steel, and I think. If I see the lists, don't want to talk too much. Zach made the best choice, deck building decisions wise. I think he has the most chance to win, but let's see what comes out. the thing is, I thought a bit too, but I just wanted to stick with my green purple. And no, I don't want to change. I want to stick with the deck. I want to represent the deck. And yeah, I just thought
Yeah.
it doesn't matter too much if I lose now. Um, um, Finish this with the deck. The deck brought me there. And if you see the you could say, oh, they are really favored and something, but if you see how I got there, I had Sen on the first round. Then I had Normnot. Then I had Dale, and then I had Sailor. So you could argue
Not an
about
easy road.
no, yeah, easy, GG. Well, competition was kind of good, yeah, but it was kind of. You could consider some of the best, really, that no doubt in that, some of the best players in the
Yeah,
world.
for sure.
So and even that, I won all games on a draw. So maybe I think I have a chance, and yeah, it will be exciting. I think it's sad
Yeah.
that I play against San. I like playing against San. Please, if you hear this, don't think anything. But I never played against Zach. I would really like to play against Zach. I never played against
Yeah.
him yet. So San, I've played in the Swiss round, but it was also very exciting because I never played against him, or at least not in paper. And against Zach, I never played. I would really like to play against him, but
Yeah.
then I have
Zach's,
to.
Zach's a super cool guy.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
really like him. He's a very.
nice
He's
to
also
chat to.
very not very. Although he's so good, he's not very arrogant or something, or shows his skill too much.
No,
Or
not a lot of ego.
yeah, he's very chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, will be exciting.
Yeah. There'll be good games for sure. I'll be watching. Yeah, wishing you the best of luck. But yeah, I really can't wait to see how some of these matchups shake out. It's been such a cool tournament, hasn't it? And I'm really, really happy that you made the top four, especially in top of Swiss, with the
Yeah,
road that you had.
I couldn't have dreamed of that. It's
No.
crazy. Knew it. I know the beginning. I knew I was paired into San, and then I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I get so crushed in this tournament. And then I lost the die roll, and then I thought, okay, come on, let's get this done. And yeah, it was very cool. I think Green
Yeah.
Purple is a deck that can do much of things you didn't expect.
Nice.
Okay, you have something prepared for today.
Yeah. I've prepared for you a very special treat as it's Christmas. And around Christmas time in England, everybody likes to do some quizzes. And because it's the end of the competitive season in Europe, I prepared for you a short challenge quiz that our listeners can take part in as well. Please do
nice.
record your scores. I'll explain as we go. And let us know if you scored better than Artabax in the comments down below. It's only short. 5 questions. I'm going to take you right back to the start of the journey. And yeah, so I'll explain the sort of points for each one as we go, but I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get in. So your first question in your European DLC season quiz, nice and easy to ease you in. Give me the names of the 4 European DLCs, the cities that they happened in order. And to get a point for each one, you have to also tell me the color combination of the deck that won each one.
Okay, I think I get that.
Yeah.
It's Lille, Amber Steel, Frank Carsten.
Yep, very good.
Then Bochum, Germany. Winner was Theo Team with Red Purple.
Very good.
Next one was Bologna.
Yep.
Winner was, I don't know his name, sorry. It's a French player, Red Blue.
Yep. This is good. This is more than I thought you'd get.
And then it was Birmingham. Winner was Federico
Yeah.
with also Red Blue.
Amazing. I was going to put on that you would have to give the players' names as well, which you did for 3 out of 4. But then I thought that's too hard. He'll never know that. But very well done. Okay, so you get your full 4 points for that.
Nice.
Very good. But like I say, I'm starting you off easy. It's going to get harder.
Uh-huh.
Right. The next one, I will say before I get in, I'm using data from Inkdex for this, which for at least one of the tournaments was incomplete. So if I'm slightly wrong, please don't come for me. But you do have to guess what I've got written down, even if it's wrong. So good luck. Right. Across all 4 of the European DLCs from this year, can you tell me, in order from rank 1 to rank 3, the 3 most represented color pairs across those top 8s in the right
Across
order?
the top
And
8.
across
Okay.
top 8 lists. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll tell you now, you can give me what there are 2 tied for 3rd place, so you could give me either of them.
Okay. Ooh, so only the European, right? The European
Yes, the
DLCs.
4 European DLCs. Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty tough. Let me think.
I think the last one's going to get you because it surprised me. There's one that I thought would be in there and it's not.
That's a good hint.
Yeah.
I think first is probably red purple.
Correct.
Okay.
9 times red purple appeared in top 8 lists this year in European DLCs.
And now we have to consider the set 3 was set the Lille was set 3.
Yep. Very good.
Then Bochum was set 4. Bologna set 5 and Birmingham set 6.
Gonna have to push you for an answer. People are gonna get bored.
I say Amber Steel, 2nd place.
Incorrect.
Oh, then Red Blue.
Red Blue was 2nd.
Yeah.
And tied for the surprise one is that Amber Steel isn't in there. They're actually this could be one of the gaps in data, and I'm sorry if it is. There was one, as I say, one of the top 8s was not completely represented on Inkdex. But it's actually Green Steel and Blue Steel tied for 3rd.
Oh, okay.
After Red Blue, because obviously we had higher than normal number of Green Steel for Bochum, and Blue Steel. Blue Steel's put up some pretty good performances.
Yeah, that's surprising that Blue Steel is over Amber Steel. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I screwed up.
Nice. No, when you get 1 point, you got red purple as the most popular one, and so that's and I think it would be really interesting to compare that to US numbers as well, because actually our members are really different.
Must be Green Steel for 1st place, probably.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
Every one of their DLCs was just 8 Green Steels in the top 8, as far as I'm concerned.
And they have no honor.
Yeah. No, it's minimum dignity, maximum steel cards. Right, the next 3 questions are all the final 3. They're all the same structure of question. You're trying to guess a specific card, right?
Okay, nice.
These cards you're trying to guess have been in top 8 lists of European DLCs this year. For each card, I'm going to give you 4 clues. If you get it right on the first clue, before I give you any others, you get 4 points. It's going to go down by 1 for each extra clue you need. Right?
And they were all in top 8 deck lists.
They've all appeared in top 8 deck lists, European DLCs this year.
Okay.
So if you don't know it, just say next clue, and I'll give you another one.
Okay.
But you lose a point for each one you need. Okay. Right.
Nice.
Your first clue for card 1. This card appeared exactly 1 time as a one-of in one EU DLC top 8 deck.
Next clue.
That deck that it appeared in was a red-blue deck.
I have a guess. But I think I need one more clue. Sorry, no one more clue.
Okay. When it was in that deck, it was being played by another player who is with you in the top 4 of the LCCC.
Oh, okay.
So I think,
Yeah, I know who it is.
yeah,
It's dig a little deeper.
yeah, very good, very good. You didn't need the last clue, which is it's an 8-cost uninkable action with Sing Together. I thought the last one I need to make it really obvious in case you don't get it. Okay, very good. So you get 2 points for that. The next one, your first clue is this 1-drop did a lot of work across multiple decks for a big chunk of this year, but is now almost completely unplayed, or at least played way less than it was the rest of the year.
I immediately had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have to. I mean, if I answer now, I have no additional chance, right?
If you risk it all now, it's over.
The pressure. Okay, one more clue.
Okay. It was a staple across multiple Amethyst decks.
Oh, a staple.
Yeah, I would say it was very widely played 1-drop across
Okay.
Amethyst decks.
Then it's Olaf.
No, it's not. You can have one more life. Your next clue is it has a challenger ability.
Rafiki.
Yes, Rafiki was played a lot. And now how
I
often do you
thought of
see
Pascal in the
Rafiki?
beginning.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't make it Pascal. You like that card too much. I can't make it Swamp. I can't make it any card that you like. Okay, so the last one now. The first clue for your final card is this uninkable character appeared as a 2-of in a deck that on ink decks, the deck name was I'm Not Prepared. I don't think you could ever get it from that, but
next clue.
yeah.
I have a guess, but yeah.
Okay. It costs 6,
Oh no.
and as far as I can tell, only appeared in EU DLC top 8 lists one time. This specific time it appeared.
I think I know it.
So, okay.
I do it now because
Yeah,
it's
go for it.
the Hydra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very well done. Well done.
I mean, I think there was a Mufasa. Was it a Mufasa deck or something? No, what was it?
No, it
No,
was in Tier
red purple.
Times Lil deck, red
Oh,
purple, that didn't
right.
play
Okay.
prepared.
Okay.
Incredible. I learned that today. That was the
Crazy.
first time yeah,
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
That obviously did some heavy work for him. Okay, so you get 3 for that. You got a lot of points. Well done. Yeah, that's the end of my questions, but I thought that might be a fun way to wrap up our competitive season.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah,
And
so
the
you're
people at home can compare how many points they will surely be worse than me, but
you got 10 points total. If anyone at home can even track the point system I was using there, you get 1 bonus point just for understanding it. So you could definitely have that.
It's own
yeah.
math.
Yeah, let us know how you did. Yeah, I thought that would be a little bit of
Yeah.
fun to round off our competitive season because I'm eager for things to do with this game, but I don't have any tournaments to play in, so I sit at home thinking of questions for you like that.
Nice.
That's why.
That was really fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Yeah, and I think with that we have a good how can you say, a good conclusion, a good thing. I think I start first. We really wish you we will make a break next week, and we all wish you a very, very nice Christmas and that all that all happens like you want it to be with your family, get a break from life, do some things you like, and don't play too much Locana, because you can get depressed by playing too much. Play some other things, and do some other things. Do spend time with your family and friends. And I really hope you enjoy. I'm looking forward for the next year. There's much ahead for us all. The game gets bigger and bigger, and I'm happy to play this game with you all. I really love the Locana community. There's so many kind and people, and I really enjoy the community. And it's a part of my life. I could say right now, it's a good part of my life, Locana, and I really love it. And I got to know so many new friends for me throughout the game. That's really joyful, really cool, and I'm happy for that. So everyone at home, feel hugged for me, and have a nice Christmas, and I wish you all the best. Yeah. What do you have to add?
Yeah, it's hard to add anything after that. That was very good. You summed up a lot of how I feel. But yeah, just reflecting on the year that we've had, it's been so good, and I'm so excited for next year. Obviously, we both ended it on a super high with good Continentals runs and everything, but just in general, man, what an amazing year. I know I said it to you in France, like, it was just surreal that we shared a hotel room and played in this tournament where we both competed and everything. And thinking back to the start of the year, didn't even know each other.
It exists.
Like, it's been an incredible journey that's just been so fun, and every event just gets better. The community have been amazing. Everyone that says nice things to us, everyone that leaves a comment, all these things, it means so much, and it's been such a great thing to be a part of. I'm so glad that you've all been along with us for it, and I really hope you all have a fantastic Christmas. You deserve it. Enjoy your time. Like Artabax says, everything stops this time of year for a reason. You don't need to grind red blue mirrors for 6 hours a day. You can take a few days off and stop tilting and just eat some food and chill with whoever you like spending time with.
Here to LD.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I think we will see us next year.
Yep.
I think we talked about everything we talk about. If you have questions or something, always write a comment. We are all happy about that. So I wish you a Merry Christmas from us both, and have a good one. In Germany, we say a guten Rutsch in the new year. How do you say that in English? Have a good.
Just Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, but it isn't New Year. That you say that afterwards, right?
Sort of. You kind of. It's weird. it's going to be a weird, complex thing to get into now at the end of the episode.
Okay. Yeah. Happy New Year.
People sort of say it before, even though it's not the New Year yet.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and bye till next time.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.